Qué bueno.
Buenos dias, good morning, it's John coming to you from Trinidad, Cuba, about 5 hours south of Havana, and I'm going to be living here for 11 days. I'm going to be taking you guys through just one day in the life, and if you've never visited Cuba before, I guarantee you're going to see some things that you've never seen in your life. Let's start with a tour of my little room. I'd say it's about the same size as my apartment in Manhattan. Alright, maybe a little bit smaller. Does have air conditioning, that's very important here, although at night the temperatures have been fairly cool where I don't even need it so much. Here's my view of the outside. And the bathroom is pretty basic by American standards. For example, it's lacking a shower curtain or a towel rack. And now let's walk around this Casa Particular. I'll give you guys a very quick look at where I'm staying. Hola, buenos días. Estoy filmando mi día. Sí, muchas gracias. Typical Cuban breakfast: eggs, fruits, sausage. Of course, lots of coffee. I've been told that real Cubans don't put milk in their coffee. Just a little bit of sugar. All right, I gotta head to Spanish class. Are you guys ready to see the real Cuba? All right, let's go. I've made over 40 videos, and I don't think I've ever been somewhere where I just could not stop filming. Every 10 seconds, I see something interesting popping up. And again, that's what it's like to be living here right now. You never know what's around that corner. Is it gonna be a horse selling fruit? Is it going to be a couple of 1950s Chevys just parked? It's an assault on all of your senses. It is really like nothing I've ever experienced before. If you ever see this on a door, it means it is a Casa Particular, and the house is open to tourists staying there, and it's a very vital part of the economy here in Cuba, tourism. In fact, it's the #1 driver of money. Probably gonna run into people who are gonna try to sell you stuff, taxis, tours. Some people have told me that I look kind of Cuban, so I haven't been hassled too much, but I got some good advice from the owner of the place I was staying at in Havana. He said, if anybody bothers me, just do this. Soy un cubano de Miami, no me molestes. Or you could just say no gracias, whatever works easier for you. Alright, it's almost 10 a.m. It's time for some Spanish class, and it's part of my experience here. I'm doing Spanish 2.5 hours a day. My teacher is named Juani. She is really, really nice, and she can talk a lot. Hola, ¿cómo está? Buenos días. And this is my setting for Spanish lessons. I could think of a lot worse places to study. Y esto es Juani, la más famosa.
No tan famosa, no. La más dedicada sí. La más dedicada, pero no creo que sea la más famosa. Eso sí, todo el mundo me conoce, hasta los perros me conocen aquí.
All right, Juani here is going to give us our first lesson in Cuban Spanish.
Okay, good morning. I'm going to start with the 2 Cuban words that we use only in Cuba. Guagua for bus, and fruta bomba just for papaya.
Sí, léela.
Traer aquí la mesa.
Sí, tráela.
Perfecto. Sí, vamos a la página 132.
Spanish class is over. My brain is on like overdrive right now. I can't even think in any language at the moment. I'm about to go meet Rena for lunch, and Rena is the person who's in charge of the program that I signed up with, at least here in Trinidad, to learn Spanish, to get the homestay, and she's going to talk more about it. I do want to note, though, that this is not an advertisement. I paid full price for it, and I'm just showing you this because I think it's such a cool thing to do. So we're going to meet Rena right now and check out a really cool spot for lunch. This is Rena.
Hi, welcome to Trinidad, Cuba. I've just met John after his Spanish lesson, so we're just going to go and hang out at a restaurant, hopefully a local restaurant. So my website basically helps people organise cultural programs here in Cuba, so you can do any combination. You can stay in a casa with your family and then take part in various kind of courses like Spanish, salsa, music, art and ceramics as well.
A savior in a restaurant in Cuba. You're probably not going to find soap in the bathroom, hand sanitizer. Don't leave home without it. This is the line to buy internet, at least the public method. And in Cuba, there are lines for just about everything, although the internet line is usually the worst one.
So I'm going to try and connect now to the Wi-Fi here in Cuba. We're in Park Cespedes in Trinidad, and I have an iPhone. This is the login page, and then that's where you start putting in your details. So I have one of these cards.
And let's show everybody your secret code so they can steal it.
No way.
There's
probably not that many minutes left.
Something that Rena told me a few days ago and I discovered for myself when I went in is you could spend about, what is it, 2 kook for a drink at the Hotel Ubiro Star, and then you could pay separately for an internet card. So if you don't want to waste an hour, hour and a half of your life online, yes, it'll be a less Cuban experience, but you will get internet much quicker. Go to one of the hotels like that one right back there, which is what I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. So it's about 2:30 right now, done with my internet stopover, and now I'm walking back to the casa. Gonna take a little bit of a siesta, and in about an hour or so, I'm gonna show you guys a really cool hike that I have not done yet, but apparently it's well worth it, so we're gonna check that out. It's about 4:30 p.m. I wanted the sun to set a little bit before I tried this hike up to the local television tower. Apparently there's an amazing viewpoint there. I'm standing in front of Plaza Mayor, which is a major gathering point in the city. It really comes to life at night. I'm gonna head in this direction and we're gonna try to find the best view in the city. We are aiming to go right there. Una pregunta, ¿el torre está en esta dirección?
Sí, todo derecho.
Derecho? Muchas gracias. This path is getting more and more interesting by the second. You know, I thought I was in better shape than this, really. All right, I made it to the top. Took about 30 minutes. I'm finally dried off, I think, and I've actually bumped into 2 cool Americans here, a brother-sister team.
Come to Cuba. It's a lot better than everything that you're told.
And opposed to other countries, sometimes when you go to Latin American places like South America, you quite often feel like a walking dollar sign. You're constantly being kind of haggled. And here you can walk the streets and feel like you're actually a person, and that's something that I've really enjoyed being here in Cuba.
Hope you all enjoyed some of the sunset views from the long hike up. Totally worth it. Got to chat with some Americans here, some people from Spain. Now I'm gonna head back to town, take a shower, and I'm gonna have a home-cooked dinner tonight, which I'm sure is going to be really interesting to watch. So I just took a shower before, and I feel like $1,000,000 right now. I did order dinner, and I recommend if you stay in a Casa Particular that you stay at one that has dinner service, because after a long day of doing things, the last thing you want is to run to a restaurant. I had dinner here a few nights ago, and the shrimp that I ate was some of the best that I've ever had in my entire life. So Rather than going out for dinner tonight, I figured I would show you guys what a traditional Cuban home-cooked meal would cost, and it's about like $6 to do it here, as opposed to going out and spending maybe 10 kuk, which is about 10 US dollars. So let's see how this pork comes out. Esto es Hilda. Hola, Hilda. Hello. Mi video.
Hola.
Hello? A los Estados Unidos? And one of the great things about staying in a casa particular is if you want, you can practice your Spanish with a family, you can get to know them, you can talk to them as much or as little as you want. There's so many people coming and going here, little granddaughters, as you just saw, uncles. It's like a Cuban sitcom, and I'm just an observer, but it's been a good time. They really do feed you well here for like $6. Look at all this stuff I got. Potatoes, salad, juice, water, tons of pork, rice, beans. I'm not going to be able to eat tomorrow morning after this. We've still got one more stop to make today, and I've made this a pretty action-packed day, but I do want to make a note that there are hundreds of things I could complain about right now, about Cuba, about where I'm staying, about everything, because traveling here is not like traveling to many other countries around the world. There are so many things that are difficult to come by, but the attitudes of the people that live here, just, the way they see things, how warm they are, how open they are to everybody, to foreigners, to travelers. It's really hard to complain. I think if you come to Cuba with an open mind, it can be a very, very life-changing experience. It's about 9 o'clock. One final stop tonight just for you guys. Otherwise, I'd probably be relaxing right now. It's been a super long day. We're in Plaza Mayor, which is packed with tourists. This is also one of the internet hotspots, so there must be 200 people on their phones right now trying to message their friends and family. Meanwhile, we're gonna check out Casa de la Musica, which is definitely the most popular place in town for live music, and all I've got energy left for. It's about $2.50 for one Cuba Libre, and my first night here, first Cuba Libre I had, I spilled it right here. So for most people, a Cuba Libre costs $2.50. For me, it cost $5. It's about 10 o'clock. I'm going to call it a night. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that salsa footage. Not really my thing, but I know a lot of you out there probably would enjoy it. I'm gonna walk home right now. Street crime is almost unheard of in many parts of Cuba, including Trinidad. As I walk back, I walk past houses of people just looking out. There's a real sense of community here, so you don't have to feel unsafe, especially in a spot like Trinidad. Any hour of the day is fine just to walk around. Hope you all enjoyed this footage. This is the first of a couple of Cuba videos. I'm eventually gonna have a playlist. If you're interested in taking Spanish classes, or the Casa Particular I'm staying at, or other Casa Particulars, I'm gonna leave a link to Experience the Real Cuba down below. Curious what you guys think. Leave me a comment, give me your thoughts about Cuba, about this video. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be a part of where you go. Thanks for watching.
Entonces, salud y suerte de la cámara, entonces. Métele y goza Cuba, que es lo más bonito.
We're gonna need subtitles for that.